Hey, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Angela. I'm a full time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and my channel is dedicated to those of you that are just getting started out in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration. And through my channel, I share with you some techniques that I use every day in my own voiceover business, and I answer your questions. So, today I wanted to touch on something that is very important to note. If you've watched my channel and for any length of time, you know how much encouragement that I give to all of you that watch and subscribe. And I encourage you to go out and try to do voiceover and audiobook narration if that's what you want to do. However, I did want to make something else clear to you before you get started or in the very beginning of beginning your journey into voiceover and audiobook narration. And that's what I wanted to discuss with you today. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into it. So basically, what I wanted to share with you today is if you're just in the beginning stages of starting to try out voiceover, if you're looking to get into voiceover or audiobook narration, I want you to know that this is something that may not be for everyone. And I know that I say that audiobook narrators and voiceover actors, we represent the world, the voice of the world, right? Every race, color, ethnicity, everywhere in the world, everyone has a voice, and we represent everyone in the world. And and I say that because I want to also impress upon you that this industry, this line of work, this career choice that you are making, it is not a sprint. It's a marathon. It is a business. And this is something that I would not recommend you get into if you're looking to just make money, because there is a lot to learn to do well and be successful in voiceover. A few years ago, before the pandemic, and even before that, there were a lot of voice actors that went into studios, and all they had to do was record their voice and leave the studio, right? They would have an audio engineer that would edit it and master it and get it to the file requirements or timing that the client needed. And that was pretty much it. And I'm sure there are some out there that I'm sure the studios are starting to reopen and this is starting to take place again. However, I think before the pandemic started, there was a lot more of this happening. And with the advent of the pandemic and a lot of studios closed, a lot of voice actors had to learn to do this on their own in their own home studio. So there's been a lot more people on YouTube and just generally everywhere giving advice on how to make money, because also with the pandemic, a lot of people unfortunately lost their jobs or had their hours cut back, and they needed to find another way to earn income and to supplement, to put food on the table and to pay the bills. And voiceover I could totally see how it would be just this really simple and easy thing to do, but there's more to it than that. And if you go anywhere on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, pretty much anywhere, you'll run into some of these people that say, make $700 an hour narrating audiobooks. That's not true. It's not. And because audiobooks are paid by finished hour, and every finished hour of audio is 2 to 5, maybe even 6 hours of work, depending on your skill level and how experienced you are with the process of audiobook narration. And each finished hour is anywhere from $50 to $400 for that finished hour. So you have to take that into consideration. And not only that, but you have to learn if you're going to produce it and keep all of that money, all of that rate that you're charging to yourself, You're going to have to learn to not only to narrate, but to edit and master and format your files appropriately for Audible or wherever the audiobook is going to be sold. Otherwise, you're going to have to outsource that. And that takes a chunk of your money that you make on that sale of that audiobook, that production of that audiobook. And the same thing goes with voiceover. If you want to become a voiceover artist, I encourage you to try. Absolutely. But don't think it's just a matter of pulling out your phone and recording something of your phone and sending that off and having that be a commercial fully produced and you make, a few $100s for doing that. I mean, if your phone is amazing and you have the ability to do all of this on your phone, then maybe. But let's be real. You have to not only have passion for what you do, because that also makes it fun, right? If you enjoy what you're doing, it's not really work. You'll never work a day in your life if you enjoy what you're doing, although it is still really work, isn't it? Because it's a business. And if you are a solopreneur, right? If you are only one person running this business, you not only have to do the voiceovers, but you also have to edit them, master them, keep track of clients, manage all of your profiles on all of these different website marketplaces. And your website, also, you have to have a website. You have to manage that. You have to create your own demos. I mean, you can have somebody create them for you, which you probably should at some point. But in the very beginning, you're probably more than likely going to be creating your own demos. And then there's also managing your social media, your marketing, your taxes, keeping track of your income and your expenses for tax time. This is a business, and it takes a lot of time and effort to keep it afloat. So I wanted to tell you that if you're in this business just for the money, it's probably not going to last very long for you, unfortunately. But if you have passion for this, if you truly enjoy recording voiceovers and playing actors and doing the work for, maybe even syncing your voiceover to video and all of the other aspects that kind of fall into or within the voiceover umbrella, then you're going to do well. But it does take effort also, right? You have to market yourself. You have to get onto social media. You have to get out there and make those connections with people. And I don't want you to think that as soon as you make yourself a website or you put yourself on Fiverr or Upwork or voices.com or any of these websites where you can find work, that you're immediately going to be just inundated with, your inbox is just going to be overfilling with people wanting your voice. That's not the way that it works. There are a lot of people in this industry. And I'm not trying to discourage you, once again, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to discourage you, but if you've watched me for any amount of time, you know that I am not going to give you a long, sugary story about things. I'm going to get right to the point and tell you what I think. And if you have this passion, if you have the ability to be coached, to learn new things, because you're going to be learning how to use your DAW, you're going to be learning how to edit and master and how to just the audio itself. There's so much to this that it's not just, buying yourself a microphone and recording your voice into it. It takes a lot of learning. It's a very big learning curve. But if you can stick with it and you have the ability to learn new things, try new things, and to be in 50 different places at one time, if you have the ability to do that, then you will more than likely do well. But it does take work. Just like anything else that you want to create and earn an income doing, it takes work, especially if you're by yourself, because you are going to have to wear many hats and keep most of them on most of the time. You have to be available to clients globally. Some clients may contact you at 11 o'clock at night your time when you're just getting into bed, or 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, I realize that a lot of my videos are very encouraging. I encourage you 150%, 200% to try this if you want to give it a try. See if it's something that you will enjoy. You know, try one of the many DAWs, the recording software that we use. A lot of them have free trials. Get one. I recommend Adobe Audition, and get yourself a microphone and try it out. You know, go on to ACX and look up file requirements and look up some tutorials on YouTube and learn how to use that DAW and see if you can get your files, your audio files, to match the standards that are required for ACX or Audible. Try recording a few commercials. Try recording, grab a book in your library and just read the back cover of it. And then play with that audio file. See if you can get the EQ. See if you can reduce the noise. See if you know what I mean. See if you want to do this, because there is a lot more to this than just speaking into a microphone. There's also going to be opportunities for you to be directed live over webcam with some clients. Do you have a studio space that you can dedicate to voiceover? Because once you have your sound dialed in, you're not going to want to change a single thing because your sound has to stay consistent from client to client to client, especially if you have repeat clients. Because that client is going to expect you to sound the same way from order to order to order, right? From project to project. They're counting on you to sound the same way that they know that you sound. So that is something else to consider. So there's a lot. There is a lot here. And I just wanted to make sure that you knew that before you got started into voiceover. I mean, again, I 100% encourage you to try, because if I didn't try, I didn't know that I would fall in love with it and be where I am now. Full time, working from home, working when I choose to, and spending more time with my family and making my own hours, being my own boss. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like this feeling. But it took a lot of work to get here, a lot of learning, a lot of trying, a lot of failing, you know? So that's what I wanted to share with you today, that this is absolutely 100% a marathon, not a sprint. And everybody's journey is different. You might be a quick study and learn everything and just be absolutely amazing right out of the box. A voice that everybody needs right this minute. And your sound is perfect. I mean, there are those instances. I've met some of those people that have just done really, really well right out of the box. But for a lot of us, sometimes it takes more time than that. Sometimes it can take a couple of years to get your sound and what you're good at and dial in your DAW and learn mic placement and what mic works well with your recording space and your voice. There's a lot to it there. And sometimes that takes a couple of years. For me, it took me a good year and a half before I could go full time. And from what I have learned, and in hindsight, that was pretty quick. I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but from what I understand, it was pretty quick. And my results aren't going to be what your results may be. You might be faster. You might take a little bit longer. But either way, if this is something that you want to do, give it your full attention, give it your time, give it all of your effort, and market yourself, because no one's going to automatically know that you're here. You have to market yourself. You have to reach out on social media. And believe me, I am an introvert. I don't want to do that, right? Deep down inside, I just want to curl up into a little ball and just not communicate with anybody. But I have to, because this is the career path that I chose. This is what I want to do. So I have to step outside of my comfort zone a lot. And I'm very happy with where I am now. So, okay, I'm rambling. So that's what I wanted to share with you. So I hope that helps you make a decision on whether or not to pursue this. And if you do, stick with it. Because again, everybody's journey is different. You might be amazing right out of the box and learn everything very quickly, or it could take you a few years or somewhere between. So don't be too hard on yourself if you don't pick it up right away. It does take a lot of learning and a lot of trying and a lot of failing, but you will get there if you stick with it. So I hope that helps. So if you found this video helpful, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. I really appreciate that. If you want to know more about me, my work, or how I can help you get started in voiceover, I have a Facebook group. I have a platinum membership on my website where we meet once a week via Zoom. If you would like to come and hang out with us in a group setting once a week and share stories and learn new things, we would love to have you. But thank you so much for your time, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.